Okay, so we're going to do the passenger side today, or this part of it. We'll put the rod on to that pin link, so it's set in there, and we're just going to run it in. I'm not putting the rubber seal on this. This is just to just to show how this is going to go in. That washer will fall out on you. That's no problem. But you got one bolt on the inside of the hood area. And then you got two up underneath. Now, if these holes have been rusted away and stuff like that, you're going to need to fix them, weld them up, because these being tight is critical. Feel around for the final one. And for the time being, we're going to leave these pretty loose. I mean, just somewhat snug to where we can move this mechanism around, because that affects a lot of your adjustment. But we got the rod. That rod's not going to fall off, so if you don't put the C-clip in, it's not a big deal. Now we got this in place. I'll set the washer, and like I said, it'll only go one way. Sometimes it may just wait till I get this in. So you got your headlight bucket. I've got this piece in there loose, so I can adjust it front to back. Now, obviously, I don't have to be as careful as if this was painted, but I always sand this pin, and I've pre-sanded this, because sometimes this gets built up with primer and it get really tight on you. You know, that's obviously a hinge, so it needs to be taken care of with some light sandpaper. So I put the headlight bucket in. Usually pin first. Sometimes you kind of got to go in at a side angle. Every one of them seems to be different. This lever will need to be turned for the open position, which will be this way. You'll see the triangular holes will only be in line for these. So at this point, I'm going to deal with this washer again. You can add some grease or even some you know, gasket sealer just to hold that. And I'll get one of these special bolts started into that. So it'll hold it right there for us. I'll grab the pivot for the front, place it over it, and that'll hold that for us too. So, you know, for now we don't have to like worry about holding everything. Usually you'll have this taped up if it's all painted. And then from here, put the rest of your bolts in. Once you get two going, got those, and these special star washers. They'll go up to the front. Okay, tighten these up, because there's no adjustment to these. just go tight. Okay. That. These fronts I'll snug. And this plate I've left loose. We can take this pivot bolt and move it, you know, up and down to where we want it. And then, you know, you can snug one of these bolts down just to hold it. But then that's pretty much ready to start rotating. And I always hold this rod and rotate it at the same time. And you can kind of watch your gaps here and make sure that you're not going to hit. And you can go, you just heard it lock. It went in a lock position, and for right there, we're not bad. We're clearing, so that's good. Now it's all in the adjustments. You should be able to take this rod with one hand and pull it, and it'll flip. But we haven't tightened those bolts up in the back, so, and that's what happens a lot of times. These don't properly lock because these bolts loosen up in the back from all the vibration. So I'm going to tighten them up. And then this should pop open for us. I kind of wanted to show just me tightening this stuff up so you kind of see why it sounds easy on paper. You know, you've got a little bit more due diligence on gathering up all your correct hardware. I'm going to make this look easy just because when you have everything ready, it is easy. But I always do these one at a time. I don't ever try to jump around and get both of them going. You just, it's not going to turn out well. Speed. Okay. Once I get it going, I am having to give it a little effort to unlock it. So what I'd probably do is lube that lock and work that. But you can tell, like I said, if you can work this by one hand, imagine what the leverage with the cable and stuff will do. It'll immediately help you. But you can see we're locking in place. I can loosen these up and shift this over a little bit. This bottom pivot, it needs to be tweaked, and it's always backwards from what you think. I was tight over here, so I need to actually move it closer to that direction. Because you're working in reverse. So you start and work it. Then what I do is I'd shift that yoke to get them pretty perfect. But this is actually, pretty close for a quick setup. So that's got your one right there. And after that adjustment, now this pull is actually easier. Sometimes it's getting them perfectly centered, or getting them close will help on that. So.